Hi guys, good morning. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend and welcome back once again to The Ed Word. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video I will be discussing what I thought of that awesome series premiere for the latest Walking Dead spinoff called The Walking Dead Dead City, featuring the return of our beloved characters Maggie and Negan, played by the awesome and wonderful Lauren Cohan and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, respectively. Before I get into all of this, of course, please be warned, like most of my episode reviews, this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you're not caught up on the first episode of Dead City, if you haven't seen it yet, either when it dropped on this past Thursday on AMC Plus, or you plan to watch it later tonight on regular TV, you don't want to keep watching or listening, as I'm going to be discussing pretty big spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, I love how they immediately establish in the first episode that the whole reason why these two seemingly joined forces is out of necessity and reluctance more than choice. Apparently, Maggie's home was raided by some bad men who took her son Herschel hostage, and they seem to be operating on the MO of the saviors from back in the day. And apparently our new scary-looking one-eared bad guy, known only as the Croat, or the Croat, I think they pronounced it either way, is a former savior himself. So with that knowledge, Maggie has decided to go to the last person on Earth she was probably hoping to ever deal with or see again, Negan, who has seemingly taken in a girl traumatized by the fact that she found her father as a walker. The one thing I didn't like about this episode, in fact, it's my only little criticism of the first episode, is that we did not get a clear answer as to the fate of Negan's last seen pregnant wife. Now, obviously, it's been a few years since the series finale of The Walking Dead, because Herschel was still a kid at that point, and right now he seems to be an older teenager. So, if Annie, Negan's wife, was still alive and had given birth, Negan would have probably a 10-year-old, maybe, or a 8 or 10-year-old child at this point. And so we did not get an answer as to the status of Negan's family, whether Annie or their child has still alive, if they have survived this whole time or not. Hopefully we get some kind of answer in the meantime, or not in the meantime, but some point soon down the road. I thought it was pretty cool how they brought Star Trek alumni Michelle Hurd into this in a very brief, short-lived role, only to be ripped apart by walkers. And I'm like, damn, that's how you treat Star Trek Picard alumni? But it was a fun little cameo, and I thought this was a great, solid opener. I mean, it was some of the nastiest walkers I have ever seen, like the walker that had pinned down the young marshal that they had taken captive, with the rat's tail hanging out of its mouth, and then the rat's head poking out of its mouth as it growled at the guy, and the black bile dripping on him. Oh, sick. Some of the grossest walkers we have ever seen yet, and I'm sure even nastier ones are on their way in this season. So this was a great opener. What I'm really excited about for the first season in general is that this show feels like it has the potential to be what I thought Fear the Walking Dead was going to be, which is a spinoff primarily set in a city, the concrete jungle. And technically, the show started off that way. Fear the Walking Dead did. It started its first season in Los Angeles in the early days of the outbreak. And then it transformed into something completely different, into the show that it has now become in its final season. So unfortunately, we only got one season in the city, where it feels like with this show, with Dead City, hopefully if the show gets multiple seasons, however many that may be, it will stay primarily in and around the Big Apple. At least that's my personal hope, but obviously the world isn't catered to my needs, so who knows what the future holds for this show. But in the meantime, I'm very excited for this first season. I love seeing these characters again. The dynamic between them is very tense and very interesting. And I kind of like how Negan kind of in turn calls out Maggie. How many fathers and husbands have you killed? And you can tell from the look on her face, he stumped her, because he brings up an excellent point. Of all the people she's killed over the years throughout this franchise and the different shows that she's popped up in, how many fathers and husbands has she indeed killed? Because in that regard, she and Negan aren't that different after all. But of course, that's a debate for another day. But it's interesting to see the dynamic and the relationship between them once again, how they're both here kind of out of necessity. And I'm curious as to what this backstory is with this new society, this new Babylon society, which has its own penal codes and rules and laws. Now they've got marshals hunting Negan because he apparently murdered a magistrate, but Negan claims that's not the full story. So it'll be interesting to see what the full true story is, if we ever get any answers about that at all. And I'm sure we will. But I'm curious if this new Babylon society has anything to do with the CRM, or if they're their own standalone government or independent functioning society. Again, only time will tell, but it's definitely piqued my interest, and this was a solid series premiere. I really enjoyed it. It's exciting. It had great character stuff. It had some disgusting, nasty, very memorable walkers, and I'm all here for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the series premiere of Dead City as much as I did. What did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your day. The Walking Dead Dead City drops new episodes every Thursday on AMC Plus, and then subsequently on the following Sundays on regular AMC via cable TV. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everyone. Thanks again for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.